Every opportunity that you're looking for is on the other side of visibility. Tapping into feminine energy and magnetizing opportunities requires being extremely visible, because if you're not seen, then how are people going to be drawn to you? You have to activate the magnet within you, and the way that you activate it is by getting visible. If you're an artist, creative, or healer, we live in a time where instead of giving out our gifts for free, we can actually create businesses around our gifts. In Hinduism, there is a 4-part path to enlightenment, and the first step is Dharma, and that is to discover and share your unique gifts. Knowing what they are is not enough. They have to be shared. It is a part of your spiritual enlightenment, the journey toward knowing God, to share your gifts. If you hoard them and you gatekeep them, you will be stuck at this level of enlightenment. After Dharma is Artha, which is to get paid for your unique gifts. And then after that is Kama, like Kama Sutra. And that's all about desire. After you've learned how to tap into getting paid for your unique gifts and everything is provided for you, what do you want? How do you want to expand? I remember I watched this documentary in my early 20s about the guy who invented 5-hour energy. He had amassed a ton of money, and what he did was he thought of the most interesting problems for him and he tried to solve them. So a lot of our world's problems aren't because we don't have the technology, right? Everyone's like, why don't we have male birth control? Or why do we have oil spills? It's not because we don't have the technology. It's because no one's funding that technology. And I'm really curious to see what might happen as more women become wealthy. What kinds of problems are we going to solve, right? When our unique gifts are discovered and shared and we're paid for them, what would an army of incredible, empowered women, what problems would we solve for the world? I bet they would be around mental health, around emotional intelligence, around protecting children, around activism. It's not a vain pursuit to want to have a life where all of your needs are completely provided for and you have so much space to see, what should I do? After Kama is Mukshith, I believe, and that's when you're free from desires. Some people will spend their whole lives not getting through Dharma. They literally won't get through it. And it's because there is so much fear around sharing who you are. Being visible requires a lot of courage, and it's very confronting. One of the reasons that I'm so passionate about content creation, it's really about becoming the kind of person who's comfortable being seen and seen as they are and seen in every stage of their growth. That for me has been a very uncomfortable but powerful journey. You'll get feedback from your community. The closer you are to your authentic self, the closer you are to developing the skill of being able to know who you are and share who you are, the more people will actually be drawn to you. Because there's literally thousands, maybe even millions of people who really understand you, who really get you. And it may not be your neighbor or the person who's literally physically in your reality, but there are tens of thousands of people who will get you and understand you on the internet. And that's why I love when a little wacky weirdo has a ton of followers. Instagram, TikTok, we reward people who are literally just genuinely themselves and celebrating themselves and allowing other people to partake in their weirdness and their oddities. That's what's so special about the internet. And if you have even the tiniest inkling that you want to show up, whether it's to build your fan base for your art or to get more clients for your private practice, or just as an exercise in learning how to be visible, I know that content creation is such a powerful tool for that. If you're somebody who wants to show up online, you want to be visible, but doing it on your own is just too painful, you're riddled with self-doubt, and it always feels like you're forcing yourself to show up online. That's why I offer my coaching services, because I've been there and I don't want it to take you 6 years like it took me. The normal response to feeling self-doubt is to give up, right? Is to not do it. However, people who are successful aren't people who don't experience self-doubt. That is literally a sign that you're on the path to success, because you would never doubt something that you don't have. And only the people who are successful are people who go for the things that they want but don't have. So that is a characteristic that you have to develop on your path to success, is to experience self-doubt and to overcome it. I think I had a deep belief that experiencing doubt meant that it wasn't for me, but I honestly didn't really feel like I had a choice, and I made a commitment, but it was literally agonizing to push through. But if I had somebody there with me reframing it as, no, this isn't because you're not going to be successful. It's because you are meant for success. And in order to embody the person who is going to be successful, you need to continue on even though you're experiencing it and say, I can tolerate self-doubt. I am somebody who longs to expand, so of course I'm going to experience this. Even that simple reframe and truly believing and embodying it would have saved me years and also just agony. And also imposter syndrome. Do I even deserve to be here? Do I want to do this? When you start experiencing imposter syndrome, it's such a good sign because it means you're actually in the game. It means, oh my gosh, I'm having these opportunities and I'm doing these things that I don't feel like I deserve yet, because your nervous system is still expanding to be able to hold them. When you're feeling imposter syndrome, there's always going to be a temptation to self-sabotage, right? Because it's your brain is always trying to keep you in what's comfortable. And so that point where you're experiencing imposter syndrome and you're very uncomfortable, you have to expand and grow to be able to hold your new reality. But experiencing that is such a good sign. It literally means that you're on your path to success. Again, something I wish I knew a long time ago. And another thing is haters. Literally, if you don't have haters on your vision board, you need to put it on your vision board, because that is a very clear sign that you're on your path to success. I really understood having online haters being something that was successful because it meant that, okay, my content is reaching other people. But having in real life haters, that was a shock to me. I was like, oh my God, people really do prey on your downfall, because sometimes your success is a trigger for other people who want what you have, but they don't have it yet. So I was not anticipating people gossiping behind my back, people really being honestly hurt if I didn't choose them in the way in which they were expecting, because my opinion of them was going to validate them somehow. And I was just like, oh, I didn't really know that I had that much power over you, honestly. I've literally had people block me who I like barely knew, who wanted to be close to me, but then randomly would just block me. It was so interesting, but it doesn't really matter. All I know is that having haters is a huge sign of success, and people are going to gossip behind your back. People are going to copy you. There are a lot of negative things that come with being a successful person. Really just being able to reframe every lie that enters your head on the path to success. That's what I'm here to do, is to hold your hand on your path to being paid to exist. Because women should not be working jobs. Honestly, clocking into a 9-to-5 is just not good for our hormones. It's not good to trade our time for money. It's not good to be reliant on a man completely and totally financially. And also, your chances of meeting a man who will actually treat you like a princess and a queen go up when you're fully embodied and you have purpose and meaning in your life. And it's not just that you work a job, but you're actually in a place, in a position, and you're very comfortable. You're literally doing what you're meant to do on this earth. When you're coming from a place of power and you have walkaway power, your relationships are going to get so much better because you're not coming out of desperation or need or validation. If you're someone who's interested in really stepping into this new identity of someone who is extremely successful, but the whole process of showing up online sounds incredibly intimidating, book a one-on-one call with me. It is my joy, my passion, my purpose to really understand what your unique gifts are and how to show up in a way that allows you to be really who you're meant to be. Women are so powerful, and we need to be tapping into that power. And that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.